Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for April 13th, 2025. It's Sunday Fun Day, and that means we've got ruins in our starting deck. One of each ruin, and then 5 coppers. I've seen this before in the Dark Ages campaign. Pretty rough. We've got 4 coppers down there, so we can get a 4 next turn. We could also potentially play a Ruin Library. That doesn't seem like a good idea, though. I guess we could play Survivors, but maybe that's not a good idea either. Let's look at what we've got on the board here. We've got Wedding, and then we've got Taskmaster, Litter, Squire plus actions. Upgrade is the only trashing. Litter, Livery, Draw, Minion stuff could be a thing. Swamp Hag, plus buy situation is a little bit awkward. Capital is awkward. Well, awkward's not the right word for it, but it's got its downsides. Galleria is limited. Squires, yeah. I mean, I think ultimately what we're trying to do here is probably play a bunch of liveries. Most of the stuff that we would want to gain is going to cost enough to make that work, and then the buy situation. Maybe we do just end up using some squires, and then our actions come from, like, we can play with Taskmaster. We'll gain 5s. Actions come from Taskmaster Litter, something like that. So we're probably going to open with a patron. There's nothing for, like, to synergize with patron, but it still seems better than a silver to get the villagers. We can also get a squire. Seems like a fine thing to get, I guess. Taskmaster, really? You're that confident you're going to hit 5? Okay. Alright, well, speaking of hitting 5, let's pick up an upgrade. Well, look at this value. So we saw Patron 3 coppers and Ruined Market. So down here we have Ruined Village and Abandoned Mine. We probably do skip them with Survivors. Okay. Do we want a silver? We could take a Taskmaster, I guess. Yeah, let's take a Taskmaster. We have 3 already, which is insane, but I guess we can hit 5 here again. Gotta spend a villager, but that seems like a completely fine thing to do. Alright, second upgrade. First, probably. We can also upgrade, like, Squire to Minion. Like, we could consider Livery, we could consider Minion now, but I think getting a second upgrade is maybe the best option. Let's ruin Library. Well, alright. I guess we don't get to keep our Taskmaster in play. Was kind of hoping to do, but We want another patron. It works pretty well if we end up doing minion stuff. It's so many taskmasters and they're not keeping any of them in play. It's weird. I wouldn't mind having one more, but I mean, eventually I wouldn't mind having a bunch more, but right now it's like, it's a little dubious. Upgrading patrons is also nicer if we end up doing that to get more 5s. I think I'm going to take the patron. All right. This time, I think we go livery. They are just going crazy with the taskmasters. So we could go ahead and just upgrade patron to keep this taskmaster in play. I guess we don't necessarily need to decide what we're doing with the squire before we do that. I would just really like to trash this garbage, though. I feel like that's more important than keeping the taskmaster in play, honestly. Okay, well, we hit 5 anyway. All right. We could just go for another livery. Could grab a litter. We're gonna need... We're gonna need more actions than just what we're getting off of like Squire Patron, eventually, for sure. Litter definitely has some downsides, but the debt, but I think it's still worthwhile. All right, I don't... Oh, right, we have plus actions. Okay, we could actually play the survivors. We probably want to. Damn it. All right, fine. Livery or litter? If we have the litter, we can more likely play the squire for buys, which would be nice. So I think I'm going to take the litter. I guess if I want another taskmaster, I should get it now. Can at least consider upgrading patron. Man, I want to get this junk out of my deck. All right. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's enough to make use of plus buy. I think we will go ahead and take one taskmaster and then another livery, I think. Right now, we are a little light on actions, but if we get the other taskmaster into play, we got some villagers to work with, so I think it should be fine. They are eventually going to hit 5, like, surely. Because they have an upgrade in their deck, but man. Alright, we don't need to trash Squire here. We want buys. I guess we do? Well, we could take another Squire. Yeah, okay. Another Squire, and I guess another litter. Okay, we probably don't need 4 buys, so do actions, buys. I should have said 5 buys. Definitely don't need 5 buys. Okay, how many more? Like, do we want to go double 5 or do we want to go 5 and some squires? The squires can be upgraded into minions or swamp hags. Swamp hag could be relevant. We can't get 3 squires though. I guess we could get squire patron. So patron can also be upgraded into a 5. Just, in a different way. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. I just do not understand what the heck the AI is doing here. Do not. Okay. We're at least going to trash this copper. Should we just trash both of the coppers and just buy stuff? Worry about upgrading into 5s later? Maybe. Should play the liveries though, just in case we change our mind. Yeah. It's fine. Actions. Do we need... We have 2017 5 buys. I mean, we hardly need to conserve the villagers that much, so I guess we might as well. All right. Another litter, another livery, another squire. We could take another upgrade and just start really going all spin to win on it. Like, I wonder if we could... How quickly we'd be able to empty piles if we were like... I guess probably not that quickly. We'd also just go ahead and take a swamp hag now and start chunking them. I don't hate it. Doesn't add to our payload for the next turn is the one thing, but... Yeah, why not? I mean, I don't think it really matters too much what we do. It's just like their deck is so bad. Okay, they finally got to keep some Taskmasters in play. Which is gonna... I mean, it is gonna make a big difference for them. Is 1, 2, 3. We still have a livery down here. That's annoying. What do we want to upgrade? What to do? There's got to be some like really clever like thing you could do at this point that would be really strong. I just don't know what it is. The like I don't want to think anymore approach is to turn this upgrade into a gold. Patrons into more liveries. could sure make some sense. That's a pretty straightforward option as well. There's also capital, I guess. Capital would like... If we thought we were going to end the game, capital would give us quite some reach for doing that. Do we think we can actually do that? 3 squires and 5 liveries. We certainly have the buys. The capital gives us more than enough money to buy a livery, right? So we get 2 capitals. 11. That's actually 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18, plus 12 is 30 coins. This is 31. So if we like squired for a silver, we could probably end the game. We need the points too. So it's actually, target would actually be 33 to squire for multiple silvers, and then do we have the buys if we're not squiring for buys? Yeah, probably not worth the effort to figure this out. Alright, put this livery into play. Upgrade this patron to another livery. I'm going to spend horses to get more liveries into play, but it's fine because we can then... Alright. 5 buys is probably sufficient. We can get horses back by having those liveries in play. I was going to say. We're almost there, even just having gained the liveries, which makes sense because the capital only nets us 1 additional coin over just taking a livery directly. Or actually, no, it nets us less because the livery itself gives us money. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about that. So I actually played for it. 15. Yeah, we're 1 coin short. I guess if we had squired for a silver, I guess we could still do that. But we don't have the, wouldn't have the buys then. Not squire for actions. All right, hold on. We need... But we need 6 buys. Which I think means we're still short. Because we were like 1 coin short, right? And the silver gets us 2 coins. 1 coin short of emptying. So 21, 17, 20, 22, 24. And this is 21. Oh! And then estate is 23. I must have missed... Oh, maybe I was doing... Oh, I must have... Yeah, I guess I was accounting for the estate before, which I thought for some reason I hadn't done. Okay. I think we gained some horses. Well, there you go. Swamp Hag was useless. What should that have been instead? I mean, I guess another livery. would have accelerated things even more. Or capital. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel similarly about this game to how I feel about, I think it was yesterday's daily, where I felt like, like I had generally the right idea, but I wasn't sure how well I executed it. But like the AI's play was poor enough that it wasn't really going to matter. And yeah, like what? How do you end up with like 8 Taskmasters and 1/5 in your deck? Like what? I mean, opening Taskmaster is already pretty weird. Like it's just a fancy copper essentially. And I guess fancy copper is better than normal when your deck starts with 5 ruins, but still, you could take a silver. Like and then they bought another one. Yeah. If this was a silver, and and granted you don't know you're going to draw, it's only 1 in 6, but then you would have actually hit 5 right here. And then somehow they did at some point get an upgrade. Taskmaster, Abandoned Mine, 3 copper, and they got an upgrade. So they had a Taskmaster that stayed in play from that, but then, like, never again for ages, and they just kept buying Taskmaster. I don't know what... Like, it was nice to have a couple of them because it's like, I'm gaining all these 5s. It's a way to get plus actions that isn't a stop card like Squire and isn't giving me debt like Litter. Although Litter is draw, so like it's on the whole it's fine, right, to have the debt from the Litter. But it's nice to have the Taskmaster in play at that point. But like before you get to that point, it's like, and like you also just aren't that desperate for actions. Like there is Litter. Like I cannot really figure out what the reasoning is, like why you would care that much about Taskmasters. So I don't know. I got nothing. But yeah, I mean, as is often the case on a board, like if you have a board that has like enough actions and buys, like then livery is often the payload of choice because it gives you the draw, it gives you the money, and it like it's sort of self-sustaining, and this board is no exception. Like that much of it, I mentioned like maybe you could do something with minion, and obviously like in the late game you can do stuff with capital, but livery is like the central payload. Like that much I'm quite confident about for this board. I think I could have done probably cooler upgrade tricks. I didn't really have the mental capacity to try to figure out exactly how to optimize that, but I didn't need to. But I don't doubt that there was better stuff to be done there. Maybe getting more upgrades too. Like I don't think like super early, right? Like the cleanup upgrades, having 2 upgrades is like the cleanup stuff. I think that feels right to me. But like a little bit later than that, like taking, when I'm taking like the litters and the liveries and stuff, like I could see getting another upgrade at some point in there, and then just doing like really spinny stuff, or like upgrading, patron to upgrade and doing spinny stuff, like that sort of thing. I could definitely see that being correct. Yeah, I wasn't being pushed to need to try to figure that out, optimize that, but yeah, I do think livery overall is like the most centralizing card here, and the AI did eventually pick one up, but it certainly didn't like prioritize getting its deck to a place where it was like built around the like delivery draw and all that stuff, and I think that's what you want to do. Yeah. Did it even clean up all of its junk? Not even close. Is that because it kept drawing all the... I guess it's because it has all these Taskmasters in its deck, which, like, if they don't stay in play, then they're in the way, and they don't see the upgrade that often. Yeah, so... Anyway, I mean, it's probably obvious enough that this doesn't make sense, but I do... like... I do maybe futilely like to try to understand what the AI is up to, and this time I definitely do not. Anyway, yeah, that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.